My daughter-in-law did not slap me. She did not scream at me. She did something worse. She smiled. Then she picked up my dinner plate, walked across my own kitchen, bent down beside her golden retriever, and said, "Here, buddy, Grandma doesn't need this much food." Then she placed my Thanksgiving dinner on the floor for the dog. The room went silent. My son stared at his phone. My grandchildren looked at me with wide eyes. The guests pretended they had not seen anything. And my daughter-in-law, Amanda, stood there with that soft little smile on her face. The kind of smile people wear when they know they have power over you. But she had forgotten one thing. The house she was standing in was not hers. The kitchen where she humiliated me was not hers. The dining table where she acted like a queen was not hers. And the floor where she placed my dinner plate for the dog, that floor was mine too. So I walked upstairs. I opened the old blue folder my late husband had left me. I came back to the dining room, and in front of everyone, I read one line from the deed. One line. That was all it took. By the end of that night, Amanda's smile was gone. My name is Eleanor Whitaker. I am 71 years old, and for most of my life, I believe that if you gave your family enough love, enough space, enough patience, and enough forgiveness, they would eventually give you respect. I was wrong. Respect is not something you can buy with kindness. Sometimes you have to remind people exactly where they are standing. My husband Thomas and I bought our house in 1986. It was a white 2-story house on Maple Ridge Lane in Ohio. Nothing fancy. Just a narrow front porch, a small backyard, and a kitchen window that faced the maple tree Thomas planted the year our son was born. Our son's name is Brian. He was our only child. Thomas loved that boy more than anything. Every Saturday morning, they worked in the garage together. Every winter, they shoveled snow side by side. Every Thanksgiving, Brian would sit at the dining table and wait for the first slice of turkey like it was Christmas morning. I used to tell Thomas, "One day, this house will belong to him." Thomas would smile and say, "Maybe, but only if he remembers what home means." At the time, I thought he was being dramatic. I did not understand. Now I do. Thomas passed away 9 years ago. Cancer. Fast and cruel. One month he was fixing the porch railing. The next month, he was sitting in a hospital bed, holding my hand, telling me not to let anyone push me out of my own life. His final papers were simple. The house stayed in my name. Fully, completely. No mortgage, no shared ownership, no transfer. Just me, Eleanor Grace Whitaker, sole owner. At first, after Thomas died, Brian came often. He brought Amanda, his new wife. She was beautiful, polished, and always dressed like she was going somewhere more important. She called me Mrs. Whitaker for the first 6 months, even after I told her to call me Eleanor. She never said anything openly rude in the beginning, but she had a way of making every room feel colder. If I cooked, she said it was too heavy. If I cleaned, she said I used old-fashioned products. If I gave the children gifts, she said I was trying too hard. If I stayed quiet, she said I was being dramatic. Brian never corrected her. That was the first crack. Then their rent went up. Brian called me one evening. "Mom, Amanda and I are struggling. The kids need stability. Your house is big. Maybe we could stay with you for 6 months. 6 months. That was what he said. I remember standing in the kitchen, looking at Thomas's empty chair and thinking maybe this was a blessing. Maybe the house would feel alive again. Maybe my grandchildren would fill the rooms with laughter. So I said yes. They moved in 2 weeks later. Brian took the master bedroom upstairs. Amanda said it made sense because they were a couple. I moved into the small guest room near the back of the house, the one with the old radiator that clicked at night. I told myself it was fine. I told myself I did not need much. Then Amanda started changing things. First, she moved Thomas's recliner into the basement. Then she removed our wedding photo from the hallway. Then she painted the dining room gray because she said the old yellow walls made the house look poor. Then she replaced my curtains. Then she started calling the kitchen my kitchen. At first I corrected her gently. "Our kitchen," I would say. She would smile. Of course, Eleanor. But the next day, she would do it again. My kitchen, my living room, my house. Brian heard it. He said nothing. That was the second crack. The children were the reason I stayed quiet. Lily was 9. Caleb was 6. They were sweet children. Lily liked to sit with me while I folded